So today we are going to have a tutorial for state machine diagram. So as usual, before we proceed, please make sure you have submitted the attendance. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. So this is the first question. It's about leaf controller object. Okay, create a state machine diagram to model the states of a leaf controller object based on the following description. Indicate all states and transitions in your answer. For each transition, specify relevant events, conditions, and actions. Okay, so basically here it says about the operation or flow of main flows of the leaf controller object. So from here you have to identify the states. Okay, so you can see first is before any interaction occurs, the leaf is on the ground floor. Where is it? The leaf on the ground floor with its door closed, and the leaf controller is in the ground floor state before receiving any messages or events. So this one is quite straightforward lah. The first one is already stated that you have ground floor state. Okay. So because now you have to remember that we are focusing on the leaf only, right? And when the leaf controller receive the request message from the up button on the ground floor, the leaf controller open the door and changes its state to waiting for floor number. So there is another state. So the good thing about this question is already mentioned. Okay. So it waits for the passenger to press the target floor number. Note that the lead passenger may press the floor number which he or she is currently on. Okay, and the passenger presses the 6th floor button. This one is example lah. And the lift controller will not do anything until the timeout event is received. Here, this one fanning. Here, the leaf controller state does not change. Okay. When the leaf controller receives the timeout event, the leaf controller closes the door, move the motor to the up direction because the destination floor is higher than the current floor, and then changes its state. Since the action of going up takes a significant length of time, we name this state as moving up. So it's already mentioned here, state. So it's quite easy lah. You just highlight. So you have another state called moving up. The guard condition is that the destination floor number is greater than the current floor. When the lift controller receives the arrival event, the lift stops the motor, opens the doors, waits for the passenger to press the destination floor again. Hence, the lift controller changes back to the waiting for floor number state. Okay, so we know this is one of the states of waiting for floor number. Okay, when there is no request okay, or no passenger, the lift controller receive the timeout event and the lift controller will move the lift back to the ground floor. We name this state as homing. So there is another state, we call it as homing. So this is a scenario. A passenger, Mary, is on the 6th floor. She presses the down button at the lift lobby to call for a lift and waits. The lift, which is on the ground floor, then goes up to the 6th floor and opens. Mary walks into the lift and presses the ground floor button. The control panel in the lift closes, goes down and stops at the ground floor. Since the action of going down takes a significant length of time, we name this state as moving down. So we have also another one, we call it as a moving down. Normal is just lift, right? You have moving up and moving down. And the guard condition is that the destination floor number is less than the current floor. Okay, so draw the state diagram. So from here, you know that you have moving down, homing, moving up, waiting for floor number and ground floor state. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you have 5 states and then how it changed from one to another, where you have to also identify the triggers, okay, or actions. Right? Anyone wants to share their answer here before I proceed? Anyone wants to share answer? Tak ada? Okay, tak ada tak apa. Let me share my answer. Right. Okay, so I have 5 states following the case study: ground floor, moving up, moving down, waiting for floor number, and homing. Okay, so based on the scenario, based on the case study, so I know that the ground floor, we have this situation whether it go moving up or waiting for floor number. Moving up, it means it's moving lah. It means it's moving. Okay, so Nurul Syafiqah, mute sekejap. Ground floor, so to moving up, this one if there is a request, okay, and then there is another situation from ground floor to waiting. Okay, this one waiting for request lah from the customer, from the public, okay, from the user. So that's why I got these two, right? So waiting for floor number, this one just from the case study, it says that the door opens, okay, open doors, and then if this one, the next floor is greater than the current floor, then it will go to moving up. The lift controller is moving up. Okay, so if the next floor is less than the current floor, then it will moving down. Okay, so here this is one thing that you must include, because it says that greater or lesser than the current floor. Okay, so if greater than current floor, then it will go up, moving up. So from moving up, once it's arrived, then it means that the door opens, then it's a waiting state. Alright, whether it's the people going out from the lift or coming into the lift, it doesn't matter. So, but basically it's arrived lah. Okay, so same thing goes to moving down. Alright. Alright, so this is a common situation. However, there is another situation where it states about this. No request no passenger. Okay, so what happened is while waiting for floor number, the door is open, but there is no request. Okay, so if we go to homing state, goes to homing state. So when it comes to homing state, the door will close and then it will move down to the ground floor if there is no request. Okay, so basically this is the from the waiting for floor number, there are 3 situations, actually 4 lah. The basic one is whether going up, going down, no request. Okay, if we go to homing, or there is another one, time out, is a ground floor. Wait, I'm not really sure about this and this. It's more or less the same. Time out, get next floor, no number, close door. Oh, there are 2 options. Whether you go to this one or go to this one. This one is either this or either this. Okay. If you choose the first one, you will not use homing. So it will straight away go to ground floor. If you use the second one, it means that you want to say that the lift from waiting to homing first, which is when it comes to homing, the door will close and it will go down. We go down, it means it will arrive to the ground floor lah. At the end, everything will go back to the ground floor. Okay. So this one, number 1, is sepatutnya tak ada ni. Because we need homing, right? We need homing. What's the difference, number 1, number 2? Current flow is greater than 0. Oh, I know. This one already at ground floor. This one not at ground floor. Okay, that's why I got to time out to go back to ground floor. Okay, one is already at the ground floor, so you just close the door lah. Another one, let's say you are at level 6 and then no one press any button, and then if we go to homing state first, which is close door and then move down to the ground floor. So once it's arrived, the state of the lift is the ground floor. Okay. Any question for lift controller object?
Doctor.
Yes.
How do we differentiate between the trigger event and the constraint?
Trigger event is the constraint lah.
Tapi macam like in the way we write the format of writing the signal event, the call and signal event, yang macam time out and then square bracket get next floor. how do we differentiate which one is outside of the square bracket and the one inside the square bracket?
Oh, okay. It's just like this. If, alright, this time out, we do not know, we assume there are many methods involved. I can also write it this way. If I know that timeout is exactly a function in the program, then my notation will be like this. However, this answer shows that the time is without the parameter, right? So it means that the timeout consists of many functions. So it's an event. Event means a lot of operation together with this constraint lah, this trigger. So that is the difference between this one with the parameter, right? This one without parameter. It means that in your program code, arrive in the bracket must be in the program code. There's no wrong. If in this situation, there's no wrong to say if you want to write it as in the bracket or without the bracket, because we understand that, oh, this one, it means you are using the event notation. This one is the operation notation.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
But then for your project, sometimes I can relate it with those operation you use in the class diagram. I cannot see your operation, I cannot see your program code. The only way that I can see your program code is through class diagram, the confirm one. Because class diagram is where the place you can you have this compartment for parameter and methods, right? So the methods is exactly methods in the program code. It's not such thing as an event or actions. It's not same as the one in the sequence diagram. It could be you put like say arrive in the bracket, but actually you meant something else. It means that actually there are so many methods inside arrive, doctor. You can argue with me. So in the sequence diagram. But then in the class diagram, you must put the operation, the program code inside the operation compartment. So somehow, if you put like arrive here, let's say in your state chart, you put arrive in the bracket, actually I can refer back to your class diagram whether it exists or not. Because whatever you put operations in here in the state diagram are main operations. So it means same goes to the class diagram. Those you put in the class diagram are main operations. So it should somehow tally lah. But then in terms of answering exam question, it's a little bit different. So you can choose either one, with the bracket or without. Good question, thank you. Any other question? Tak ada? Okay. So if there is no question, then proceed with the next question. Okay, now we are going to model a state machine diagram for a life cycle of a book object. Okay. Again, here is already mentioned what are the states involved. Okay, this here it says that starting from the time when the book is on the library shelf available until the book is discarded by the LRS, the system. Okay, indicate all the states and transition of a book in your answer. For each transition, specify, etc. Okay, here we already give you the states. LRS will be used to handle book loan and return procedures. Book states are available, borrowed, returned, reserved, and overdue. Okay, so this is the story. So when a user borrows a book, he or she has to scan the barcode of his library card at the LIS user terminal. The LIS will display his personal loan records that contain details such as etc. and the total overdue fine, if any. So all of this is about class diagram. What are the classes involved? What are the parameters involved? Okay, it's not state yet. If there is an outstanding overdue fine, the LIS automatically print a charge notice. The user can settle the fine payment at the library counter, which is handled by the library assistant with an LIS administrator terminal. If there is no outstanding fine, the LIS will check whether the user has exceeded the loan limit. A user can loan at most 5 books in 1 month. The user can borrow books by scanning the barcode at the LIS user terminal. A new loan record is added to the user loan record, still about loan, it's not about book. A receipt is then printed, indicating the book title, ISBN, and etc., and due date for return. It is about receipt, it's not about a book. The user will go through the same process if he or she wants to borrow the book that has been held for him. So hold here is about the book. The user will return the books through a collection box at the library entrance. The LA will check in the return books. Okay. Through the LIS administrator terminal, the system displays the book details and the due date of the book loan. If the book is returned late, overdue fine is calculated and added the user's fine record. Overdue fine is $1 per day. Once the book return is complete, the status of the corresponding book loan record set to return. The books are overdue when the user do not return the book. If no one requests to reserve the book, the system updates the book record status to available. Otherwise, the record status is reserved. The whole book will be offered to the users in queue. The system will continue offering the book to all users that have reserved the books until the number of whole is 0. Then books will be removed from the LIS when the librarian discards the book from the library. Okay, so for this one, the good thing is, again, we already informed you lah. What are the states? We got 5 states, right? So what you have to know now is what are the trigger that change from one state to another. Okay. Alright, I have this answer. Tell me what's wrong with this answer. Anyone? No diamond at the below. Below which one? The written one. But we got two situation, right? Number of hole greater than 0 or number of hole is equal to 0. So if the book someone wants to reserve, so it pass to the whole status. That one is you can notice some of the states do not use diamond. Some use diamond. It's not like activity diagram that diamond is really mentioned where you have to use for cases, condition, situation. State in any books they only mention initial and state, and then they really focus on the how to trigger. What is the notation for trigger? That's all. But they do not mention at all about. They're not really stressed on the parallel. You can have that. You can use the activity syntax, activity diagram syntax. Any other question? Any other answer? What's wrong with this state diagram? Or do you agree this is perfect, doctor? No improvement needed. Why there is no arrow at written book? Written book. Written book. Wait. What is it? Written book had arrow. Written book. This one. Okay. So we found one. It should be like this, right? So the color is red. So one is a within limit, another one with the exit limit. At overdue. Correct. What else? You can see now. You see? This one, you use the diamond. It's okay. This one, without the diamond, it's also okay. State, they don't really care. But then if you get used to activity diagram syntax, you can do it properly lah. Sometimes you easily to understand. Oh, here we got cases. Less than, greater than, whatever lah, equal to, right? So there are what we call that branches from one state to few states. This one you have to look at. What are other going out from borrowed? Other than that, must have condition for discard. Discard. Where is discard? Oh, this one. You can have. It's not compulsory. Any suggestion? What are the condition for this discard? Muhammad Farid Adli, do you have any suggestion? One out book. Okay, good. Anything else? Yang lain mana?
Doctor,
Yeah.
I just want to ask,
Mhm.
after a book is overdue, why not it becomes available?
Why not it become available?
Once the book is overdue, so that's it lah.
That's why I'm asking you what's wrong with this state diagram. So you think how it should be?
I think after the overdue, it will become available because the book has been written, but just the fine record, it's recorded into the borrower.
So this one is your answer, Lokman. Any other answer from the rest? One more. Satu je lagi. Think. Next time I should do like this, right? Give you wrong answer and then you have to think. What else? Exceed written book, exceed limit. Written book within a limit. Should overdue attach to written with guide. Yes, correct. Last one, Lilian G. Thank you. This one. Macam mana buat ni? Sini. And then, then I have to padam lah. Find paid. Find equal to paid. Where is it? I cannot see find overdue, is it? No. That one is this. Oh, I understand. With a guard, find paid. Okay. What's the action? Buy, right? Value is paid. Paid, right? Paid. And then paid je lah. Paid. If you want to put, what is the, okay, I use function better. Overdue, then we pay, then it will check whether this book is on hold or not. You cannot simply go to available. Wait, that was slow. You have to stop presenting, share again. something like this. Okay. So when the book is in the borrowed situation, and after a certain time, and then the book will be returned. Okay, or it will be in the overdue situation. So when it's overdue, then you have to pay blah 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 lah. Alright, so that it means that it will return back. Okay, so once you pay the fine, and then the system will check also same like the return book, normal return book, whether the book is on hold or not on hold. Okay, alright. Anything else that you want to add in? Or any question? Tak ada. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So basically, this is the last answer for second question lah. Alright. Whether you want to put entry, do and exit for each state is depending on the scenario given. Okay, if it's mentioned, then you have to put in. Alright, so okay, before we leave, you can see that in the borrowed and return, we have entry, do and exit. Alright, so for the borrowed one, the entry is the book will be scanned first lah. So it means it will go to the system under borrowed situation. So in the system, it will do the checking of it's not overdue, it's the due date for the book and the loan limit. Okay, whether the person already exceed 5 books or not. Right, and then the due date. Then upon the process, then it will exit with the receipt. So you will get the receipt lah about how long you can borrow the book, and then this is the book number. What number 2, number 3 is the first book that you are borrowing. Okay, and then after certain period of time, and then the book will be changed to return if the borrower return the book, or the borrower return the book exceeding the time limit. Okay, the entry is check-in book. Okay, and then the system, while returning the book, the system will checking for any overdue. Okay, so in this situation, we know that the overdue is within the due date, because we know that the status from borrowed to return with the condition or with the trigger within limit. Okay, and then exit with the number of hold. So they will check the number of hold. So if it's under hold, then it will change the book status to hold, where the other person can borrow the book. If not, then it will make it as available and then put on the shelf. Right? So you can notice that there are the relation between trigger return book within limit and the due checking overdue. I think the word here maybe makes you confused a little bit. But then actually most of the students, instead of put overdue, they will put here due date. Okay, so it's very straightforward lah. If a due date, right? Same thing goes to this one, due date. Okay, and then the rest is common as mentioned in the scenario. Alright. Okay. If you have no more question, that's all for today. So see you next week, inshallah, on lecture session for timing diagram. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Dr.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.